And we are back for some more Kerbaling. We're going to do about one more of these missions, maybe just a satellite launch or something else if something is fast. Relatively, maybe a half an hour or so more of Kerbal. And then we are going to do the subscriber multiplayer. So we're going to play some Team Fortress 2 and basically let subscribers just snipe me in the head over and over and over. And by that I mostly mean Lolar, but you know how it goes. Yeah. Cheers. Name shipped after subs. It's actually a good idea, or maybe just chat people. With the first few ones, they were sort of semi-insignificant, and they weren't going to stick around. So naming them was like, yeah. But this one is going to stick around. This is going to be our first satellite, our equatorial satellite. So let's name this something like, well, I can't use ComSat because I think it's going to be used later on. So let's just call it Sat1 dash. And yeah, let's look at the subscriber list. I have a randomized subscriber list over here. Boom, reset that, refresh it. Okay, ooh, this is going to be the... Can I, maybe I can't, I don't know, maybe I can copy paste or not. This is going to be Sat1 dash, how many O's are we looking at? 4 O's, Ludwig. There we go. So this is, we're constructing it for a mission. Now I do have Contract Plus over here. Oops, it was already open. So very handy. We're going to do this one here. What do we need? We need an unmanned probe, has an antenna, can generate power, and that's it. Just needs a position at that point. So it doesn't need an experiment. So, probe, done. We are going to put a fuel tank on here. I think I'll use the 400. Now, it needs the ability to generate power. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and just put, I'm going to put a foursome of these 3x2s over here. It might want some batteries to deal with the fact whenever it might be on the dark side of Kerbin. It might be eclipsed. It's pretty far out, but because it's in an equatorial orbit, it's going to spend more time in being eclipsed than something in polar orbit, but not very much because it's so far away. And it does have some power built in. It's probably a good idea to have and battery. And I think the batteries got brought down in size here. You know what? I'm gonna do the symmetrical one. So there we go. Pair of batteries, like so. Right away, I'm gonna go ahead and put on this nose cone. And then dishes. We are gonna use. Are they on the science? There they are. The Reflectron KR7s, like so. And we'll put them like that. So these have huge range, 90 million meters, as opposed to the 1.2 million meters. I can't remember the distance of the moon, but it's somewhere around 10 million or something like that. Like, I don't think the 1.2 is sufficient to reach the moon. So, but these will be sufficient, despite the fact that we're beyond lunar orbit. This should be totally fine. Oh yes, I'll have to resend out the subscriber server info for the TF2 server. So this here is going to be our satellite. And it would be nice if we had a carrier, but we don't. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up on these stages here. So we're at 4100 delta V. That bottom stage doesn't have a ton of thrust to weight. So to me, what this says, this is a great candidate for just doing something like this. We're going to be launching that way. Let me grab this, go into symmetry like this, and do that. You'll notice we don't have any decouplers here. It's just this is going to be just a triple stage. Does give us a little bit more delta V. Maybe not as much as I'd like. The problem is we don't have the fuel valves. Scooter! With the donation. Thank you very much. Thanks, Quill. You've played a part in bringing up my love for games again. Well, I'm very happy about that. Awesome. Whoa, nice lag there. Suppose what I could do is something like this. Doesn't have enough thrust to weight. But it's something to start. And I guess I could just put a couple of SRBs on the side there. SRBs don't give you that much delta V. They give you a lot of thrust to weight. Wish we had the fuel exchange, but maybe this is a good place for an SRB. We want structural. We've got the struts and everything, so that's good. So we put the radial decouplers, say over here, with the big thumpers and everything. That's not unreasonable. Oh, part of the issue might have been some of the staging. No, we're okay. So 5,900 delta V total should be awesome. I hope. Again, we have to get beyond the moon. So if we take 4,000 delta V to get into orbit, that'll leave us with about 2,000 delta V to expand our orbit to beyond the moon. I think that's okay. We shouldn't have to do any plane shifts because we are equatorial. We don't have to go to Shadowfell or anything like that. Plane shift? Huh? Do we need fairings around there? I don't think so. Well, I suppose if I could take the nose cone off and put a fairing down here. And because it starts from a little lower, it should actually be a much more reasonably shaped fairing. Still, I mean, it's pretty wide. It'd be nice if there was like an easier way to tell. Yeah, it couldn't really be much more narrow than that. Do we have... We have a small reaction wheel. I'm going to throw one of those on the top over there. So we have a little bit more twist up there, although it's not really going to help down here. I don't know. Let's throw on these winglets. So this whole stage here is going to have about 2,200 delta V, which means by the time we're over here, we're mostly going to be out of the atmosphere, so I don't think we're going to need any more winglets or anything. Yeah, I need a higher level from plane shift. Oh, by the way, I'm getting ready for our Team Fortress. Well, if it doesn't work... Oops. If it doesn't work, we'll blame Ludwig over here. We got power. We even have extra batteries, which I don't think we need. We've got the dishes. I mean, our step one is just get into orbit. We got a second mission. If we can end up with things pointed to the moon and everything, moon and Minimus, that'll be great. Just enough to complete it. Needs to be up for 2 days, which should be fine. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's see if this happens. Oh no! How many parts do we have? 32, and we can only fit 30. I am gonna take the batteries off. Or I could go with like triple solar panel, triple dish instead of quadruple. I could take the fairing off. How much money do we have? Oh, I have enough money. Hang on, we're okay. How's the weight? Oh, the mass is too much. So even if I remove some bits and pieces, the mass would be too much. So we have to, no matter what, I have to upgrade the launch pad because we need a lot more weight for it. So that's good. That does not leave us enough because it's 225. Actually, I should have checked, but I think it's 225 to upgrade the VAB, which would basically spend all our money. Fairing's on the wrong stage. Doesn't matter what stage the fairing's on. Because I usually pop it manually when I'm at like the right atmosphere. Yeah, that would spend we'd strictly have enough, but not much more. Probably don't need all 4 dishes. And I think you're right. I'll go with 3. Because you want one pointed to the Kerbal Space Center no matter what. To complete the mission, I'll need the 2 others going to Moon and Minmus. But then as soon as that completes, then I can change those to point to the active craft and be useful again. So I guess for this one, we will only go with the trio. It's not going to be really good at making a big like network of things, but it's going to be okay for now. So let's go ahead and just go with triple symmetry, and then same with this. We'll go triple symmetry in betweeny. And now we are good. All right. And yeah, the fairing I tend to launch manually anyway. I suppose, yeah, okay. That's a good point. Let's just stand it to the top and then I'll pop it. You don't want to pop too early. That would be bad. Most likely, by the time the stage is ready to go, will be the right time for the fairing anyway. But we'll eyeball it. Okay. So, one thing we need to double check. Let's make sure this orbit, it's equatorial, sure, but is it equatorial in the right direction? Yes, it is. You can't maybe see it on the stream, but there's little dots around here, and they are going counterclockwise, which is what happens when you launch going towards the east. Let me go and pop this up right away. Okay. It'd be nice if I could set up the dishes now, but I can't touch them. I think I could go to the Space Center, then change the dishes, but that's okay. So we are going to go ahead and do this. We're going to be in kill rotation to start off with. We're going to set ourselves up for a 10-degree pitch towards the east, which is what's going to happen. We are going to be at full throttle. Actually, yeah, I'll be at full throttle. I'll probably bring it down to 2/3 right away because most of the thrust to start off with is going to be from the SRBs for the first 42 seconds. All right, let's launch. What could possibly go wrong? You know what I didn't do? Put supports on top of the SRBs. It looks like they're going to be okay, but that's a little wibbly wobbly. Could have been better. We might lose a little bit of our thrust because they're not pointing straight down. So yeah, let me go and pull back my main engine to about 2/3. Just so we don't accelerate too quick. Oh, complete the roll. That's a bit slow on the gravity turn. Stability is good though, liking that. I'm going to prep for a turn to 70. I'm going to do that at about 5K, I think. Alright, we're getting some atmospheric effects. Okay, we're almost done on the SRBs. So even though we're getting the atmospheric effects, I'm going to go to full throttle now. And drop them and hope that they don't hit my ship. No, good. Alright, I think we're generally okay. Oh yeah, we got to go and turn over some more. I'm going to prep for a turn to 60 degrees. I'm going to wait until the our prograde marker is caught up here. Are we tipping a little more than I want? You know what? Stay locked on prograde for now. Let's go to 65 degrees. There we go. That's looking about the way I want. Very nice. And again, intentionally doing a slower and somewhat less efficient gravity turn so that we are good and well above the Kennedy Space Center for our circularization. Okay. We are nice and high. We shouldn't have too many atmospheric effects. So one, I should be able to deploy this because there's not much, and I should be able to comfortably turn to 45 degrees without getting any sort of weird flippy-floppy stuff. Indeed, that is true. And in fact, at this point, I think, I just hope it happens to work this way, we're just going to lock to orbital prograde, and that'll be fine. Just watch our apoapsis go. And what I might do is I might just go ahead and burn the entire stage at this angle here. And whatever apoapsis that will end us up at, that'll be fine. We'll certainly end up above 70,000 with this stage. Not much more, and of course we'll lose a little bit in the atmosphere, but not too much. Okay. Let's go ahead and detach that and make sure our steering is still working, and it is. We'll go a little higher. The reason I prefer, I'm using MechJeb to show me my Delta V instead of Kerbal is simply because I have MechJeb for other things, and I'd rather not have two things that do the same thing. Try to raise our apoapsis a wee bit higher. Alright, I'm going to call it good there. Obviously, we'll have to go quite a bit higher in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and set one of my dishes to point to mission control and activate that. And that'll be good enough for now. And, oh, we are in space. Let's go ahead and deploy our solar panels. Forgetting to do that, very bad. Some people like to leave like a couple of the like tiny little flat ones on. Oh yeah, there's only 3. That way, if you forget to deploy, you're still generating a wee bit of power. Still holding this direction. We are 1 minute, 20 seconds away from apoapsis, which is good. Again, at about 30 seconds, I will do a test burn to see what happens. There's a bit more mass here, so it actually might take us a lot longer to circularize. While we're waiting for that, I should get ready to send the email to the subscribers who want to join us in TF2, so you can murderize me over and over again. Bum 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 bum, because I'm super bad at shooters. Da, da, da. Okay. It's not sent out yet. I just don't want to miss the window here. Could fast forward a wee bit. Okay, at 38, let me go full burn once we're facing correctly. And confirm, apoapsis is climbing. Not very quickly, but it is. That's good. So I can wait a little bit longer. Okay, 30 seconds exactly. I'll go to full burn. See, it's sort of freezing there. Now it's going up a little bit. So if I throttle down, again, in the situation where you don't want your apoapsis time to continue to be dropping if you're going at full burn here, because it means you waited too long, most likely. Here we're fine. It's climbing. I'll just throttle down, keep it at non-climbing. In fact, it would be fine if it were dropping a wee bit. Again, I'm putting some extra stuff into the apoapsis, but not that much. Mostly we're raising the parry. Okay, let me kill it completely. We'll wait until we're 20 seconds away. Again, I'm just paranoid about missing the window. Also, how's our angle here? Okay, we're okay, and we're certainly within range, so that's good. Let's go now. Now the time is climbing a lot because we're not that far. We're not that... The further away from your apo, the more your thrust increases your apoapsis, which means the more it increases the time. There we go. Now I'm just going to continue this burn now until it rounds off. We're not going to affect the apo very much because we're relatively close. And... oh! Stage. Okay. And there we go. So we have 2k delta V left, which should be more than enough to put us in the right spot. In fact, at this point, I think if I set a target of the moon and activate you, and then the other one has no target, set you to min-miss, and activate you, I think that will start progressing us to our quest. And we still have one that is going to mission control. If we take a look over here, yeah, it's got to run for 2 days. A day in Kerbal, by the way, is 6 hours. There we go. And any second now we will lose connection. We can kill the whole prograde, because that doesn't really matter. And then we're going to wait until we're back in range of the KSC to perform the rest of our maneuvers. One nice thing is if at any point you do lose connection, your engines do stop burning. So you don't have to worry about your engines being stuck on when you lose connection. There's a safety feature that your burns stop as soon as you lose connection. Which can also screw you sometimes, but that's okay. Let's go ahead. Warp. Again, I have everything deployed. I have energy, which is dropping. Oh, because I'm on the shady side. But it's okay if we lose all of our energy. Like, if we go completely dead, that's okay. When we come to the sunny side, we'll be okay. There we go. That's the last of our electric charge. The antennas use a lot of energy, by the way. It's part of what's going on there. And then we're going to hit the sun again, and our energy is going up. But we don't have a signal, so I can't control the ship. I could have pre-programmed things in there. You know, in 10 minutes do this. But I would rather just wait. Oh, it's going to be dark again. So any second now, we should reestablish. There it is. Okay, so basically, since I'm relatively circular, the parry and apo, there's not much of a difference. We basically just want to face prograde and hit the gas. Oh, I was going to say, why am I going that way? It's because I'm looking from the south side. There you go. So now I'm going this way. And just increase my my thing. Our inclination should be okay, or mostly okay. And I'm just going to burn until we get pretty damn close over here. This is what most of my delta V is going to go towards, is this thing. Let's slow that down a wee bit. Boom. There we go. Because from the other side, raising this side is going to be a fair bit cheaper, I think. Still, we have 1200 delta V left, which is good. And all we need to do now is fast forward. We might spend a little bit of time in the shadow right over here, so we will lose all our power. But then as soon as we're out over here, we're going to be fine. There we go. Felt like it wasn't time warping the way I'd expected it to. Hey, we can send some telemetry report from here. Cool. We actually got in signal for a little while. Now, it's entirely possible when we're here, the Kerbal Space Center might be on the wrong side, so we might not actually have a connection. In which case, we'll just wait until the next time around. Right? Like, look what's going to happen there. Now, I could have set in a program, but I don't know how long of a burn I need. If I could set up maneuver nodes, I could set up a maneuver node here, set it up to be executed when I reach it to do the correct burn, even without a signal. But I don't have the upgrades to be able to set maneuver nodes yet. So I think, yeah, we're going to miss it this time around. So we're going to have to wait until next time. Whoa! And we've intercepted the moon. Okay, well, I mean, as long as we don't crash into the moon, and we won't, this will mess up our orbit a scooch. And by a scooch, I mean we're fucking on a crash land. Goddamn moon! No! That's what patch conics will do for you. Or lack thereof. So, at this point, what's the best way to fix this? Burning radial? I mean, oh, actually, I'm close enough to my Apo. If I just burned prograde right now... No. Stupid moon. Alright. Alright, our parry is safe. We've lost some of our Delta V. We're alright. Stupid moon. And that's, I was worried about this. Like, remember when we were looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, this goes past the moon. Without the patch conics and, you know, like, lots of attention, couldn't necessarily tell that we're okay. So, here, if I can get it in range, burning is going to be okay. The moon, luckily, is in the wrong place now for this part of it. I'm a little worried about the other side. Okay, we're basically at the periapsis right now. A little past it, but not enough to really matter. So let's go ahead and... Whoops! I'm not facing the right way. Fuck, 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 fuck. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again. And I could plan a maneuver, but I don't know how long of a burn I need. Well, how much time do I have? I only have 9 seconds of burn. That is 800 Delta V. Please, God, let me have enough here. Well, let's just wait. What could possibly go wrong? So, again, I won't be able to do it on this orbit, because I'm facing the wrong way. It might come around in time. It might. It might. I think it will. It'll be really nice when we got more satellites in here, because I can bounce more signals. In fact, maybe I should have let... Well, the other one didn't have power. Oh, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose it. I could do a little bit of prograde here. It will increase my Apo a little bit, but it's mostly going to do my parry. There we go. I mean, I did a little bit of a burn. It raised my Apo, but mostly getting it in the right place. I wish I could do a warp too, but you can't do that. If you don't have a maneuver node capability, you can't warp to something. So again, we'll miss it. Now the question is, oh, go, 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 go. Stop time warp. Go. Nice. I was going to say, the question is, will we dodge the moon? If I burn radial here, I was going to say, I think we can get that a little bit better. We're basically moving our apoapsis a little closer to where we are. Go back to prograde. Just stretch the other side, and we'll stretch it to the other side of the moon. There we go. Hey! We have saved the day. Wow. Used a little extra Delta V. See, this is why you bring overkill. Okay, I think if we just wait 10 seconds, I believe we will complete the mission. Hands off. Boom! Okay. Now, we still have the other mission, which it will require that we have the connection to Moon and Minmus for 2 days. Now, I think every time I lose connection to the KSP, it actually resets this. You can see all our progress was actually lost at some point. So, instead of having those dishes pointed towards Moon and Minmus now, because I think every time the KSC is on the wrong side of the planet, it'll just reset it and never complete. Instead, I'm going to abandon the Moon thing. I'm going to say keep one pointing to whatever the active vessel is. Because we'll be able to use this to help us maintain a connection to the KSC more often for our next mission. Because, especially if our next mission ends up being on the other side, well, either we'll have a direct connection, or we might be able to bounce a signal off Sat-1. So we will just leave that for now. We'll complete the Moon Minmus mission later on. That was very sketchy for a little while there. You don't need to hold any particular orientation. Save yourself your power. And being so far out, yeah, there will still be times when... Where's the sun? Over there. when we'll be on the wrong side of Kerbin. We'll be over here. But we're so far out that Kerbin is such a microscopic little dot that the time we'll be eclipsed will be minuscule. So we're unlikely to lose power much. We'll just lose our direct connection. Yeah, I haven't dropped a single frame here, so everything should be okay. Daenerys Targaryen, hey! Mother of Dragons, thanks for the sub. Now, the other thing is, if we put a satellite in polar orbit, and we do have a mission for that, then odds are that one or the other will always be in orbit. Right? In fact, we have a mission for that. So let me switch back over here. We're just going to just quick save before we change views. Celebratory drink. A geosynchronous satellite above KSC will all but eliminate dark time. And yes, ideally you do that. In fact, if you do like a quad or maybe triple geosynchronous, one right above and then two on the other angles of the triangle, then I guess let's make a triangle. Then you can end up with a live satellite that always has a connection to KSC. And we will do that at some point. In fact, we'll get missions for it almost certainly. You know, we have this this communication network mission, which will basically put a really good set, because it's got a specific set of sort of orbits to meet, and this will be a pretty good set of solid things. Equatorial min-miss. Space around the moon. Well, we're going to want to do that. Science data around Kerbin. Oh, right. I never took that, and I actually sent... Actually, I can still do that, because I can send telemetry. If I go... So we don't have a science experiment. But I think... Yeah, what is this blue thing? I don't know. Point dishes at either moon or min-miss. Oh, okay. Well, that might be helpful. I think I can grab telemetry and transmit it, and that should complete the mission. And it does. Yeah, those missions don't show the orbits on the map, but it's fine because I can get the numbers, and that's okay. I mean, it's nice to eyeball it, but I can also eyeball my numbers in comparison, especially with the MechJeb giving me like the actual info on the screen. I'm tempted to unlock the early command modules next and do a manned flight, but I think what we're gonna do, just because my voice is very dead. Oh no, we need the Terriers. This is going to make our life so much easier putting these satellites in because it's just so much more efficient. It gives us a much larger margin for error and or lets us build cheaper, lighter ships. So I'm going to unlock that first before we do any more manned. I'm going to stop it here. My voice is nearly dead. We're going to take a very short break. We're going to come back. I keep forgetting to do it. Let me send the message now. So subscribers will have the TF2 private server information, which should all be up to date. Nope, that's not the one I want. TF2 server info. That's the email I want. Copy. Pasta. And send. Okay. So subscribers, this should hit your email, although usually there's a pretty big delay in that. So make sure to check your Twitch inbox. Your Twitch messages. Wow, we got a lot of money. Satellite missions give you tons of cash. Plus we got advances for a bunch of things. Let's go ahead and actually just upgrade our VAB because we're going to want that no matter what, and I'll save the rest perhaps. Although once we start doing manned missions, we want to upgrade our astronaut complex to do EVAs. You know what? Let me do that now before I do the first manned mission, and then I'm pissed that I can't EVA and get more science. Words. Yes, check your Twitch inbox because it should be a little bit faster. Sometimes there's still a delay, but hopefully it's there. Again, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to do some TF2. Anyone who was just here for the Dwarf Fortress and the Kerbal Space Program, thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you had a great time. If you missed any of it, it should be available on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Quill18. And of course, if you're new to everything, YouTube is where I do most of my stuff, so make sure to go to youtube.com/Quill18. That's where I have most of my things. And of course, if you do hit follow here on Twitch, somewhere over there, you should get an email when we go live. But for now, we're going to go and you're going to see me get headshotted a whole bunch in Team Fortress. See you in a few minutes, folks.